So you ever wonder who are these people who devote day upon day to campaigning for the presidential elections? Last hour, we talked with a Republican volunteer for Mitt Romney. Now we have Ernesto Ausejo. He's been spending like 15 hours a week drumming up support for President Obama. Ernesto, thank you for being here. I appreciate it.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You know what's fascinating to me? You were originally from Peru, but now you're devoting this much time to the presidential election in the process here. What about the process was so fascinating that you said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to be so involved that it's worth 15 hours of my time. Not about your candidate, but about the process.
Right. Well, I think that's the thing. America is the biggest, the most democratic and free, open society in the world. So, you know, we can participate in it. When we participate in it, I think it's the best way to keep promoting those ideals and that democracy and show people, even back in Peru, you know, I moved here when I was 9 years old. Yeah. I've been here for 12 years. So show people that an open and a free democracy is the best way to move forward, regardless of who your candidate is. You want everyone voting all the time, every time. The more people, the better for our nation, for the world.
So since you feel so strongly about it, I mean, it must irk you when you go door to door or you're on the phone or however it is that you're reaching out. What do you say to someone who says, you know what, my vote doesn't count, I'm just really sick of this process, I can't stand these robocalls, they don't quite have the fervor that you do?
Right. Well, it's easy. If everyone felt that apathetic towards voting, then no one would vote, your candidate will lose, right? We have to remember every vote counts, even in Georgia. You know, even in Georgia when people say, you know, it's either solid Republicans or even in other states where it's solid Democrat. If you don't vote, if you don't make your voice heard, then how do you expect the process to change? You want people to voice their opinions, to come out and say, this is what I believe in, let's work together, you know, in a state where it's either solid Democrat, solid Republican, or even the toss-up states. And let's move our country, you know, together forward. Let's go together and let's change it.
You know what? The last hour we talked with someone who volunteered for Mitt Romney, and I said, give me some one of your most unique situations where you went door to door that's the most memorable. And she had a crazy story, you know? But how about you? Do you have something that stands out in mind?
Well, I'll tell you, the first time I went and canvassed, we went out, it was around, I think, the DeKalb area, but Little Fat Points is what it was.
Okay, so this is an area for people who are watching across the nation in Atlanta?
Right, right. And so, you know, it's supposedly they put you in, they'll take you to a place where it's going to be, you're going to have a good reception, or you're going to have enough Democrats so that you don't face people that you
so you're not going to be arguing constantly.
The first person the first door I knocked on, it was a Republican. And so I walk in, I walk up there, you know, I'm a little nervous. I've never done this before. I was maybe 19. Walk in, knock on the door, and I'm like, hey, how you doing? You know, I'm doing this for the Democrats, blah, blah, blah. And they're just like, well, I'm a Republican. I'm just like, I was a little taken aback just by the fact that I was like, oh, you know, what do I do now?
Now, what do I say?
Right, but, you know, it was easy. They said, you know, I'm a Republican. You know, we disagree. Great to see you. Have a good day. So nothing crazy. I think on the phones, maybe sometimes you get a couple people that they
can be rude.
They can be very rude.
Yeah.
But what do? You listen. You listen. You listen. You apologize, and you say, you know, we apologize.
Hey, how does it feel to be, after all this time and all this work, here you are, this is decision day. You've anticipated, but you could know by tonight.
Sure. Well, for people like us who breathe, sleep, eat politics, I think after, you know, 18 months of such a close election, it's going to be interesting. There's going to be some resolution finally and some relief because, you know, it's been so long. You hear it every day, all day, even with my peers at school. You know, it seems like it's just about time for
yeah, well, he's a political science major, so who he's hanging out with, they eat, leave, and breathe it, too.
Of course.
All right, Ernesto, thank you so much. I want to make sure I say your last name correctly. Ausejo?
Ausejo.
Okay.
That's good. You didn't butcher. Most people butcher, so that was good. That was good. I'll take it.
Thank you so much. Best of luck to you and your candidate today.